Hi everyone, so I am here today at Love and Logic. I'm at one of the events with Charles Fay.
Yes.
So this is our community. Say hi to our
Well, hello.
watchers.
So, good to see everybody, and we've been having a lot of fun.
It's fantastic. So I don't know if you guys caught our podcast with Jim Fay, who I've thought of Love and Logic and the creators as my heroes. You guys are amazing. So if you're in my community, know that I've talked about this program for parents for so long. If you've got strong-willed children, this program has saved my life. So I'm here today enjoying this. I had no idea it was going to be so funny. So it's like so enjoyable and so funny. It's like fantastic.
Well, thank you. And we do believe that we all learn better when we're giggling, and we can hear some hopeful strategies where
fantastic.
We can be loving with our kids, because we want to have love in our lives with our kids, but we also can have good boundaries.
It's great, and you've got a full room.
Yeah,
a lot of teachers
very blessed. Here. A lot of teachers and parents, and we're just talking about a lot of more difficult kids,
right?
And really trying to get some of the emotional roots, and you and Daniel work on the hardware issues, as you like to call it, which is such an important piece.
But you got to have good software.
Yeah, hardware and software. Yeah,
yes.
You'd have the best disk drive, but if there's no program on it or the program's faulty, we're going to have some issues there.
So I've said this so many times. It has changed my relationship with my daughter, which is why, it's life-changing. Wow. So I had the hardest, small child, and I have the best teenager. She's amazing.
Wow.
So, no, she's incredible. And we are so close. Daniel thinks we're pathetic now because we're so close, and she's so amazing. And she was supposed to be here with me today. Aww. And so I have to tell you, I want to just go through this with you, and you'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
She's great now, and I don't have the same issues with her as when she was young. But you still have to do the Love and Logic thing even as they're older, right?
Right.
So she was supposed to be here, and she kind of mismanaged her time. We homeschool her.
Okay.
And this homeschool program is amazing, but they really have to manage their own time, their own schedule. It's very independent.
Oh, so sounds like that's good.
It's almost like college. And so she has to do that, and she kind of blew it, and I tried to, blow it's not the right word, she's a straight A student, but she kind of got off track with her schedule.
Sure.
And I tried to point out to her at one point, I'm like, I'm not sure you're going to finish on time. I think you got a little off track. And she did. She's very strong, and she's like, Mom, I've got this. Okay. And like you said, what do you always say? We hope they...
Oh, I hope that they blow it from time to time.
Once in a while.
And that is such a hard thing for all of us to do.
It's hard.
And because when we love our kids, we want to protect them, and we want things to go well for them, and then we forget that in order for things to go well for people, sometimes they have to go poorly so that they can learn cause and effect and make good decisions. So, tough.
So it was really hard. I didn't really want to... I really didn't want her to blow it and be in pain, but at the same time, when I knew she was going to, I thought, okay, how am I going to handle this? Because I knew she was going to blow it. So she had straight A's, and all of a sudden her program expired and cut her off during the middle of finals. And so she was in pain, and she was supposed to be here with me today. She calls me freaking out, and she had gotten hold of the school, and she found out she could get an extension, but it was going to cost her. It would cost her money. And so I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to extend it for you. Pay the $300, but you're going to have to pay for it. So she calls me back. That's real life consequence, right? She's a good kid. I'm not going to punish her, but she's going to pay real life consequence.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I got pulled over. It's been a long time since that happened, but I got a pretty bad ticket, and the police officer was very kind about it. But it is what it is.
He's not going to let you out of it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So she calls me back, and she's bawling, and she's having a nervous breakdown. And I'm thinking, well, is it because she's worried about her grades? Is it because she's upset about the money? No. It was because she was so upset about disappointing me. And she was so upset that I wasn't going to trust her. And that made me think about what you said today. You started the whole thing off with relationship and trust.
Yeah, I want to have a love relationship with my kids. I want them to obey mostly out of love, mostly out of realizing that, the limits I have for you are really designed to help. And, they really can't choke down admitting that, but that's the underlying message. And
if we don't have a bond, it sort of doesn't work.
And I want that to continue on when I'm not around. See, the whole idea here is, how do we parent in a way where the kids make good decisions when we're not around?
Right.
And that is, we bond with them so deeply that they stick us inside of their hearts and they can't get away from us. And, I look in the mirror a lot of times, and it's kind of distressing at first, because I say to myself, wow, there's Jim Fay. I mean, my dad.
Yep. It's amazing,
As
right?
a teenager, I was like, I'm never going to be like him. And
that's my daughter.
Yeah, and that's the healthy stage they go through, but they can't get away from you that easy if you have that relationship with them. So
she used to push back, and now she calls herself my mini-me. So
and one of the things that we talked about is, you asked me, can I give 3 tips? You know, and
there's so many more.
The first tip is, we remember that consequences will not work without relationship. And so we're not going to be permissive, but we're going to have a relationship where the kid views us as being powerful and loving. And
I like that, powerful and loving. So we call it firm and kind, powerful and loving. I like that.
Yeah, and I guess another tip, just to throw another one at you, is that there's no greater gift, and this is corny, you know it already. If you're listening or watching, you know this already. But there's no greater gift than time. And
yes.
I saw that with my 10-year-old the other day. I want to go work out. I want to go for a run.
Yep.
I want to do this. I want to do that. And then he's like, I want to make this woodworking project with you. And that's like the last thing I want to do. I'm like, okay, I just don't want to do it. And then I'm like, no, it's just, and we did it. And he was so happy. I mean, and I was too, after I got over the fact that I didn't get to go for a run. But I realized that as I was going through it, that was what I needed to. So we made a little woodworking project, and it was just a huge blessing. And so, it's when the holidays come along, we can get so caught up that it's like, there's a story about, Martha and Mary, and Martha's running around the house, and she's pretty uptight, trying to take care of everything, and Mary is, she's hooked in with
she's
with
focused
the Lord.
on the bond.
And she's like, no, and what do kids want?
They want your time.
When I was a kid, I remember my mother, who grew up, and she believed that good mommies always make sure that everything goes perfect and the house is clean, and you don't just have ham for Christmas, you have turkey and like every other possible food, okay?
Right.
And so
we're Lebanese, we're the same way.
And so she came kind of across like, well, Merry Christmas, after all the things I did for you. And I was really feeling the love and the spirit of the season, and as we became teenagers, I remember one year she just decided, I'm going on strike and I'm just going to have a good time during the holiday. That was the best Christmas,
right?
And every Christmas we had after that was marvelous. The food was fairly lackluster. The house was not decorated that well, but man, that's what kids want.
The time is better.
I think as human beings, we have this tendency, it's part of the pull of really starting to believe that stuff and accomplishments and tangible things are really where it's at. But no, not so much.
It's the time. I agree. And I spend a lot of time with Chloe. Like you were talking about your woodworking project.
Yeah.
I have, it was so hard for me at first to listen to hours and hours and hours of Justin Bieber, like how much Justin Bieber's life,
that is
every
a
detail.
sacrifice.
Right, it's an investment.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
But it's okay. It was an investment. But it's the time that we put in that matters. Yeah. So, no, I love it. I mean, we said 3 tips, but there's so many. I mean, I love when you say, let them pay consequences while the consequences are cheap, right? So
and remember that good parents have kids that mess up.
Right.
It's like we get in this idea that if our kids mess up, that means we're bad parents. But it's we don't have as much control as we think we do.
No, especially not once they are in middle school. I mean, that's when it starts to change.
And the road to wisdom is paved with mistakes, and they're going to have to make those mistakes. And it has to do with how we react. And when they make that mistake, and then they see that our love is unconditional, man, that's powerful stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to encourage you. I hate shopping. I hate them all during the holidays. it for me takes away from what the holidays really mean.
Yeah.
So I love unique gifts. This is one of the gifts I would recommend. You do events all over the place.
We do, and we have
and they're not expensive.
No, they're not.
They're amazing.
And we do a summer retreat for parents, and it's in Breckenridge, Colorado. And thanks for asking.
I'm in Fullerton right now. I mean, they're all over the place.
Yeah. That's why I'm really only 20, and that's why I look this old, because I travel a lot.
It's like my husband.
Yeah. But yeah, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to share with your community, and you can learn more about Love and Logic.
And where can you do live chats now and then, or you give advice on Facebook, or where can they find you?
Yeah, go to loveandlogic.com. We have a Facebook page there, and we just do all sorts of things.
So I'm going to tell you how I mastered Love and Logic. Well, I don't know if I mastered it, but how I made it work for me.
Okay.
Because I think that it's not the kids that are the problem. Like my big epiphany was it's the parents that are the problem, right?
Right.
So I ordered all of your stuff, like all of it.
Thank
I
you.
ordered everything. This was back when my daughter was 5. I ordered everything I could get my hands on. And then I realized, why isn't it working? Well, it wasn't working because I wasn't able to really change that quickly. So I started taking back then, the CDs, and I would put them in my car and I listened to them over. I became obsessed. And I listened to them over and over and over and over and over until literally it's like karate. I practice karate. You have to do it so much that it just becomes
repetition.
It becomes your second nature. It's spontaneous.
It's like muscle memory,
Right.
It just gets locked in, and creating some neural pathways, some new ones, and getting those deepened through repetition.
Because you're not going to just get it like that. You're going to have to practice it.
And you take it slow, and then you remember that it's good for kids to see you making mistakes because you can model.
And I frequently tell my daughter, parents aren't perfect. I'm sorry. That's how she learns.
I like to say I meant to do that, when I make mistakes, because I wanted to give you an opportunity to see that it's okay to make mistakes. So that's why I did that.
I love that. Well, we want to have you on. I had your father on our
he's
podcast.
a great guy.
We're going to have you back on our podcast. So look out. We've got one with Jim Fay. We're going to do another one with Charles Fay coming up soon. So look for Love and Logic. Check out their events, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.